Hello, everybody. Music Scene Investigation is on the air. Glad you're with us today. Rich Wildman here, and it's going to be a good show today. I just know it. How do I know it? Because Ian and I are outnumbered in the wits department today. There is no doubt about that. Andrea is back with us, and our guest panelist is our panelist of the year from 2013. So you know they're both smarter than we are. And, of course, we're going to be reviewing some new music today on the program, so that's going to be a lot of fun as well. Certainly hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoy doing it. And let's go around and meet everybody. We'll start out in England because I know that it's probably going to be the only chance that Ian gets to look smart at all. Ian, how are you?
I don't know.
You don't know at all, huh?
No, what was the question?
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Yes, fine, thank you. Fine, I think, yeah.
Are you ready for Halloween? It's coming up in a couple of weeks.
I am. I've got my costume ready. Me and the kids tried our costumes on today, so we had a little bit of a sort of a scary moment in the house today. But yes, it's all going off.
A scary moment in the house?
Yeah, well, three of us dressed up in Halloween costumes.
Oh, okay. I thought something went wrong when you put the costumes on.
Only my wife got scared.
Oh, well, that's... She married you, right?
That was when we took the costumes off.
Yeah, I was going to say, she married you.
We're like the Addams family.
Married you via proxy. Is that... Yeah, never mind. All right, I got a question for you with regards to last week's show. Of course, you remember we had Tom Chianti on the broadcast with us. It was good to see Tom again. We had three songs, one from On the Fence, one from Joey Cochran, and from Paradigm Lost. How'd the witness statements turn out from last week?
Well, bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. But we do have an overall winner, but by a tiny hair's width. So for songwriting, it was a split vote, equal split vote, between song one, Fair With a Friend, and song two, Apple of My Eye.
Really?
Yeah, for performance. We had a split vote, 50-50, between Fair Weather Friend and Apple of My Eye.
Interesting.
Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please.
Drum roll.
And for mix and production, ladies and gentlemen, we had song two with only 25% of the votes, and song one, Fair Weather Friend, with 75% of the votes. So it's just snuck in as a winner, really.
Wow, now that's kind of interesting, and I guess, you know, song number one, if I remember correctly, was an instrumental. Song number two was actually a song about some guy's apple of his eye, if I remember correctly, right?
I think so, yeah. Must be, because it's called Apple of My Eye.
So about half the people liked the song with words, and half the people didn't mind the instrumental.
Yeah.
That's interesting. We'll have to find out how things go this week, next week.
We will.
It'll be
And just quickly before we pass over, I know everyone waits for this time of year for me to announce that I'm doing something. And for those of you who have been on the edge of your seats waiting for me to make that announcement, I have started writing our Christmas song.
Now, for those people who don't know, Ian every year has put together a Christmas song that's recorded and released right around, obviously, Christmas time.
Funny that.
And what was last year's song, Ian?
It was called No Work at Christmas last year. It was a bit of a rush together last year.
And the one before that?
That was Problem with Santa Claus.
So you're basically digging on Christmas every year.
Digging, no. I love Christmas. I do. I love Christmas and the time of year and everything like that. But there are certain things, which I think we all agree on from the chat beforehand, that, you know, that do get me about Christmas. And at the moment, Christmas seems to get started early, year after year. And so this year, the song is called Christmas Starts in September.
Yeah, and I think we probably all agree on that. I know in the pre-chat, the pre-show chat, we all pretty much agreed on that. It's commercialized, and, you know, what are you going to do about it, right?
So there you go. That's what the song's about. So look out for it in the coming months.
All right. We're going to see any dancers on this one?
I might see if we can get a twerking skeleton on it.
Oh, there you go. Some little throwback from Halloween for Christmas.
Well, yeah, why not? Like Nightmare Before Christmas, you know.
Exactly. That works perfectly well. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about in the chat room during the show earlier, of course, today is the 18th of October as we record this. And Pinky out in the chat room said he's building a 6-foot animatronic skeleton for Halloween. And we want video is what we're talking about. All right, heading over to Las Vegas, Nevada. It's still hot out there by all accounts. Andrea Bensmiller. Hey, Andrea, how are you?
Hey, Rich. How's it going?
It's going well. Things going all right. Your lower third is not you. It says James. You don't look a thing like James, though.
We're trying to look more like each other lately.
You need more facial hair.
I was going to say, I don't think it's possible.
You know, that way it will really confuse people which one of us is on which week.
So he watches the video and he thinks it's him just because he sees his name.
Yeah.
Please don't, because Rich and I are confused enough already.
Well, you know, there's 2 women on today, so something's got to go wrong. Because
and that hopefully that's the only thing that goes wrong.
There you go. That thing is small. We'll take that, right? No big deal.
Put it in the win column because that's the only one you're going to get.
About that looking stupid thing, Rich.
No, I didn't look stupid. I fixed it. I fixed it as we went here, so it's all fixed now. See, it's perfect. All right, Andrea, you said in the pre-show, we talked a little bit about the weather, how things are in Vegas. You said the temperatures finally come down. It's been a little stormy. Did you guys have any experience like they did in California with mudslides and all that stuff? I know in Vegas it's fairly flat, so.
Yeah, we don't have mudslides here because they actually have a really good set of washes in this area because we need every drop of water that hits the ground. But it didn't actually pour this time. It wasn't like the monsoon season kind of stuff that they saw in California. But yeah, we're just happy to have whatever little bit comes our way.
And so the weather forecast for the next month or so, the El Nino is apparently coming in. It's going to make things a bit horrible this winter. What's the effects that are prognosticated? That's a tough word. What are they saying about that for the Vegas area?
We have mostly flooding. Whenever you see those big tropical storms that come in off the Pacific and they do a lot of damage in LA because frankly, LA is not built very well in terms of water runoff and where it ends up. And there's lots of places in California where between the wildfires and the way the terrain is, that's why they end up with those big mudslides. We don't really have that problem here, but you'll have so much water come down in a certain amount of time that it can't really flow off too quickly. So there's flooding basically. And we have those, commercials on TV and on the radio constantly, like, turn around, don't drown.
Yeah.
Don't be a dummy and try to, drive through 4 feet of water with your tiny little car, which it's always astounding when you see people on the news that somebody actually thought they were going to make it to the other side, But that's kind of about it. We don't have a lot of damages done. We don't have, we have certain sections of the highways in the desert that might wash out. And then they'll be closed down for a little while. But, things here are pretty much built for the terrain, which is the upside of Vegas having been developed so much later than a lot of other cities.
Well, that's a good thing, I mean, when you get gangsters in charge of building the city, they usually do it right.
Yeah, and they kind of pieced it together little by little over time, which in a lot of other cities doesn't work very well.
Right.
Because there's not enough space to accommodate what you need. But here they had the whole desert to work with, so It's actually pieced together pretty well.
You got nothing but open space to build upon.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing.
So the weather from here on out is going to be kind of nice and chill, and I love when we actually hit fall and winter here because it's gorgeous. It's not freezing cold. It's a little chilly. It still feels like you're having a shift in seasons, which it doesn't in LA at all. You never feel like you ever have a shift in seasons there. But yeah, and it's finally not hot, which is really the most important thing.
That's always good, and I'm glad things are going well in Vegas. So it's always nice to hear.
Thank you.
Our guest panelist today is our 2013 panelist of the year. I mentioned that during the opening of the broadcast. We're happy she's back with us. She actually started a new podcast, which is going over like gangbusters out on the net, called Cookery by the Book. She runs the #1 soul music podcast in the world, has been doing that for a number of years. We're happy to have her back with us again, Miss Suzy Chase. Hey, Suzy, how are you?
Hi, I'm great, Rich. How are you?
Doing really well. It's good to have you back with us. Of course, I've seen you. We talked to you, a couple of weeks ago, I think, right?
Yeah.
We did a MSI Extra where we talked about a little bit of everything that you've been doing in music and broadcasting, podcasting, the whole 9 yards.
I know. First of all, can you see me? Because I can't see you.
I can see you fine.
Okay.
Except for that ghost behind you.
I know.
No, I'm
it's
just,
almost Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. No. No ghosts at all. But so let me ask you this, because you've been going on like gangbusters doing these Cookery by the Book broadcasts that you do. It seems like you're doing 1 or 2 a week from the way it looks.
Yes.
I guess this is keeping you busy. How are things going with it?
It's crazy. It's totally taken off. I just recorded my 9th podcast of Cookery by the Book. And it's funny when something starts out as an idea and then it kind of mushrooms, because you always think, oh, that's an idea. It'll just stick in my head. But this has kind of taken off. And I love it. And there's no other cookbook podcast out there. So it's really fun to do.
So the whole Cookery by the Book, I understand, is to meet the authors of these cookbooks. Then you'll actually go through and prepare one of the recipes, if I remember correctly. And so I got to ask, what's the best part? Is it talking with the authors or actually doing the food?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I'm just a home cook. I'm not a chef. I don't say I'm a chef. I have no formal training. So it's, for me as a home cook, it's really interesting to make something out of each cookbook, because it kind of pushes me and lets me learn more in the kitchen. So it helps the interview along too.
Now, have you ever, this is a stupid question, but I'm going to ask
Bring it on.
Have you ever cut yourself in the kitchen cutting the vegetables? Do you ever fancy yourself, well, I could be a chef, so I'm just going to dice the onions like they do and stuff like that?
No.
Okay. Well,
No.
See
But
what I
I
had to
I
ask,
do have
though.
a small New York City kitchen. So things, I drop things a lot. So I have to throw a lot of things away because I don't have much workspace. But I haven't cut myself yet. I'm sure you just jinxed me, though. Thanks.
No. I don't want to jinx you. I really don't. All right. So now tell me about the Groove Radio. How are things going there? You're still broadcasting and doing your live shows over at the Trophy Bar, I'm sure.
Yep. Since 2003, I've just been doing my soul music podcast, recording them live at Trophy Bar in Brooklyn, and then cutting up my set into 2 or 3 podcasts that I put on my website, thegrooveradio.com.
Now, I noticed, and I'm very happy about this, I noticed that a couple of Saturdays ago, first of all, let me give everybody a little background. Suzy not only is a longtime podcaster and broadcaster, she recently got kind of hooked on this whole thing called periscoping, where you can take and use your phone and broadcast live video. Once it's done broadcasting, it's kind of like gone forever, and unless, of course, you save it. But
Right.
It's a live broadcasting thing. I noticed the other day, a couple of Saturdays ago, you actually broadcast live from the trophy bar while you were doing your show. How did that go? How fun was that?
It was good. I need 2 phones because I have my set list on my phone. So I could only show a couple of segues. But it was fun to show Trophy Bar because it's so cute and it was a good start. But I think next month I'm going to have 2 phones so I can just keep the Periscope running through my whole 3 hours.
Yeah, no, I think that would be great. Get a tripod, set it up behind you or beside you, and just go for it.
Right.
Now, I noticed you did a lot of panning with the phone during the show, which was very cool. It was nice to be able to see the bar. It really is a trophy bar. I mean, there are a lot of trophies there.
Yes, there are.
I was very surprised at that. All right. Enough with the trophy bar. I want to get back to Cookery by the Book. I want to know who the next author is you're going to be interviewing.
I think it's going to be Duff Goldman. He's a baker. He has a cookbook called Duff Bakes. He has, I think his show's called Charm City Cakes. I think he's my next author.
That would be very cool. I know
Yes.
you talked about on Twitter one day, and actually on Periscope. I keep going back to Periscope, and I don't mean to. You talked about an author's book that you were getting ready to do. It was in the queue. I don't know if you've done this interview yet or not, on how to eat well for $4 a day.
Yes.
Tell me,
I did.
how'd that go? How was that?
It was really, really interesting.
So is it a lot of bologna and peanut butter and jelly? I'm just asking because $4 a day sounds pretty inexpensive.
No, it gives you tips like, over 40. Wait, I can't, I don't even know the number. I don't want to quote. I think it's 40 million Americans are on food stamps, but don't quote me. And you have $4 a day to live. So she has excellent recipes like you want to have burgers, but you can't afford all of the meat. So you put some black beans in the burgers and mix that up to make your ground beef go longer.
So it's like a chili burger.
Yes, a little bit.
You could put a little spices in there and it'd be great.
Yeah.
Cook that on the grill. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Fire that one up. Yep.
That's very cool. So $4 a day, it can be done. I think that's awesome. I can't wait to listen to that one. Now, Pinky in the chat room is saying that he was a chef for 20 years in New Orleans, Hawaii, and Santa Cruz, and he cut and burned himself a lot, according to what he's saying.
Well, real chefs have burn marks and cut marks, like they have their war wounds. I'm just a home cook, so.
You need to get you one of those white smocks and the little puffy hat, and it'll be perfect.
Right?
You could use that for your artwork on iTunes.
It'll be a good look.
I think I'll tell you about it after the show, but just take a match to that puffy hat and burn part of it, and it would look great.
Like a crown.
No, like a home chef trying to be a chef. It would be, be funny. All right. I'm sorry. I digress, and everybody's going to hate me for doing that. All right, we've got a show to do today, and our 3 panelists are here. We have 3 new songs that we're going to take a listen to on the broadcast today. Certainly hope everybody's ready for it. Are you guys ready?
Oh, I think so.
Already.
All right. Well, let's do that then. Let's listen to our first song on the broadcast today. Here it is, everybody. This is track number 1 on today's MSI. Certainly hope you enjoy it. We'll be back in a minute.
Paris, Paris, that bitch when it free. Tell me what you feel. Daningo tikali kidiba. Daningo tikali kidiba. Daningo tikali kidiba. Kidiba. Daningo tikali kidiba. Daningo tikali kidiba. Daningo tikali kidiba. Kidiba. Daneto tigiyo. Daneto tigiyo. Daneto tigiyo. Daneto tigiyo. Daneto tigiyo. Daneto tigiyo. Dis soir, week-end doux, c'est si pour vous. Tu kiffes, oui, avoue, tu demandes, on vient d'où? Just move that. If you got high, we ready to fly. No blind like a bat. Kidiba, rap ma diva. C'est si n'est pas un flow à deux bas. Sur le beat, je suis un animal. Des terres, faut que ça fasse très mal. Ça vient du DK3 Lickman. Blue, red, yellow. Blue, red, yellow. Here we go, match. Give me some. Make me come. Tell me what you feel. Here we go, match. Give me some. Make me come. Tell me what you feel. Daningo tikali kidiba. Daningo tikali kidiba. Daningo tikali kidiba. Kidiba. Daningo tikali kidiba. Daningo tikali kidiba. Daningo tikali kidiba. Kidiba. Daneto tigiyo. Daneto tigiyo. Daneto tigiyo. Kidiba. Daneto tigiyo. Daneto tigiyo. Daneto tigiyo. Tonight I'm fire, baby girl, come and go to the Maya. This is our time, DJ, don't stop the game. Tonight I'm fire, baby girl, come go to the Maya. This is hot time, DJ, don't stop the game. That what we need, what we need tonight. That what we need to get tonight. It gonna be crazy. It gonna be crazy. Daningo tikali kidiba. Daningo tikali kidiba. Daningo tikali kidiba. Kidiba. Daningo tikali kidiba. Daningo tikali kidiba. Daningo tikali kidiba. Kidiba. Daneto tigiyo. Daneto tigiyo. Daneto tigiyo. Kidiba. Daneto tigiyo. Daneto tigiyo. Daneto tigiyo. Kidiba.
Okay, that is track number 1 on the broadcast today. Let's bring our panel back in, start things out with Ian, find out what he thinks about track number 1. Ian, all over to you, sir.
Okay, good start to the show. I think really nice bass tone going on this. Really did like the way the bass was sitting throughout the whole track. Good use of sonic sounds, sonic space from the point of view of placing the sounds and the sounds that have been used. Guy's vocal was good. Obviously, can't really comment on the lyrics because I didn't know what he was saying. But even though I didn't know what he was saying, you could get the feel of there was a hook there, which is good. And, you know, you got a feel of his emotion and his sort of... he came across emotively, is the best way of putting it. So, yeah, I haven't got much bad to say about this, really. Again, I could go down the route if it did get a bit repetitive in places. But this style of music sometimes does that, and that's just not my bag. The little sort of bell sound that was going on with that little hook, instrumental hook as well, was nice. But otherwise, I mean, you've got quite a level, well-mixed, well-produced, well-performed track. I just wish I could understand the lyrics, but that's not down to the performer, that's down to me being stupid, as the two girls are going to prove when they know what everybody said.
All right, well, let's find out if Ian is indeed stupid. No, I don't think you are, but we'll find out. Let's go to Andrea and get her thoughts on track number 1 as well. Andrea?
Well, I don't think Ian's stupid. I caught a few of the lyrics. I'm not going to say I caught all of them. But there were a few taglines in there that made sense. Yeah, here's the deal with this track. It feels to me like it's a really strong artist with a good sense of what he does. It comes across well. The vocal ideas, the vocal hooks that changed from time to time, I think were really catchy, and you could really get the sense of what his deal is. I think there was a rap that was in French, I think, and I liked that. I liked that it was different. I liked that it was in another language, because Americans are really trying to be very American centric, and everything has to happen the way we think it does. But there's a lot of world music out there that's really, really interesting and fun, and done with this insertion of different languages, and I personally really like it. The weakness in the track for me is that there's two things. The first is that though it's really decently produced, all of the sounds are kind of right out of the box, and that can be a little bit boring after a while. I think if you're going to use mostly synth sounds or all, stuff that came with your software, the challenge to do that well is to make sure that you are very musical and you're writing with those sounds musically in a way that makes stuff just kind of pop out at you. And I didn't really hear enough of that. There was a little bit of monotony going on throughout the whole track that maybe, you could break up with either adding in some organic instruments, or really trying to figure out how you can elevate those sounds so that there's something really musical happening there. And the second reason was that I didn't feel there was enough build in the track. It kind of stuck around the same groove and the same idea for most of the track. It's a long track for that to happen. 4 minutes listening to the same loop on drums can be, after a while, you just turn it off, right? You're not listening as closely as you could be. And part of that was that in the drum track itself, in the programming, there wasn't a lot of upper register use of instruments. So there wasn't a whole lot of hi-hat, cymbals, shaker, anything in that different register to make you kind of pay attention to it as the song, could build. So, there's things that you can do that don't necessarily involve writing more music. When you're programming a drum track, think about, is the range of the instrument, drums, being used? You've got kick, you've got snare, a lot of it. And then what else is there in this instrument? How do we use the voices of this instrument to make things more interesting? So yeah, I thought it's a good track. I really, really love the artist. I think that the track needs more work in terms of production and arrangement to really make it stand out.
All right, fair enough. I appreciate that, Andrea. Over to Miss Suzy Chase and her thoughts on track number 1. Suzy?
First of all, Ian is not stupid.
Oh, come on. Let's debate it.
Right now, he's not
Thank
stupid.
you, ladies. Thank you. I love you both.
So the beginning totally sounded like 1984 Nucleus Jam on It. Did anyone else hear that?
Yeah,
No?
I heard a little bit of that influence that back there too.
And
then
I'm
it's
glad I
kind of
wasn't the
switched
only
over
one.
to and then it kind of switched over to an Outcast feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one who couldn't understand the lyrics. I was like, am I middle-aged and what is it, French? But it was super catchy. I feel like this guy's on to something. And it was very, very catchy, which I think you want these days.
All right. Makes good sense. I appreciate it. Thank you, Suzy. All right. Track number 1 is called Kidiba, and it's by a group called 243 Link. And we appreciate their sending that track in to Music Scene Investigation. All right, got 2 more tracks to take a listen to today. We're going to get to the second track right now because these tracks today are fairly long. So we're going to get right to it with track number 2. Here it is, everybody. Track number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy it. We'll be back with the review in just a second.
frowns. Sometimes the weight of the world turns your smile to a frown. And when I feel like I can't make it another day, I call on my Savior to take me away. I wanna go to a place where there's no space or time. Lord, take me high above the mountains. I wanna ride on the cloud, take me away. Take me away. Take me away. Take me away. Everybody goes through some ups and downs. Sometimes the weight of the world turns your smile to a frown. And when I feel like I can't make it another day, I call on my Savior, say, Lord, take me away. I wanna go to a place where there's no space or time. Lord, take me high above the mountains. I wanna ride on the cloud away. Take me away. Oh, take me away. Take me away. I wanna go to a place that is higher than I, under the shadow of your wings. I wanna ride on the cloud. Take me high above the mountains, so I can soar with you. Lord, please take me away. I wanna be with you. I gotta be with you, Lord, where you are. Oh, I with you. I wanna be where you are. Take me to that place, Lord, where I can seek your face. Oh, I wanna be where you are. Take me higher, Lord, to that secret place where you can change me, and I can be more like you, Lord, under the shadow of your wings, where you can speak to me, and I can hear you clearly, Lord. I wanna be in your presence, Lord. There's no place I'd rather be. That's where I find joy, I find strength. I wanna be with you, Lord. I wanna go, I gotta go, I gotta go with you, Lord. And I'll never be the same. I wanna go higher, I need to go higher. Elevate me, take me higher, Lord. I wanna ride on the cloud. Just wanna be where you
All right, there you have track number 2 on the broadcast today. We're going to go to the panel right now, starting out with Andrea and get her thoughts on it. Andrea, over to you, track number 2.
Okay, yeah, there's so much good stuff in this track. So hard to, where do I start? Exactly. When it first came in, I thought, beautiful piano, love the bass sound, the drummer, nice, tasty hi-hat, little motifs everywhere. Really nice, and it started, and the production really sounded, very smooth. And for the most part, it really sounded like the mix was in itself with the music very kind of well balanced, but it was definitely over compressed. So whereas there was that squashing feeling where you have lots and lots of music and lots of instruments and everything's kind of stacked on top of each other, and it got a little a little stunted because of the compression. It all started to feel like it was all one what we call, width, basically. Because if you're looking at the actual waveform, if you've overcompressed something, you're going to see that all your peaks and valleys are gone, and it's just basically a flat wave. So I heard that, and where you can hear it the most is that the vocal sticks out so far from the music. That could have also been done in the mix, but you tend to hear that too with the vocal. Suddenly the vocal feels like it's separate from the music. So, and it's really too bad because the band is so tight in this recording. Really, really high-end band, great skills. The kicks that are going on throughout the song, really, really, well executed. Everybody's together. It's really tight. Sounded so good. And then the vocalist, so great. I mean, the lead vocalist, really solid, got that gospel R&B sound, and the backing vocals, super tight, nice and tasty little parts that they came up with. So much good stuff going on there. I thought that the first hook, the Take Me Away part, wasn't a particularly strong chorus, especially because it's just kind of repeated over and over again. And that the actual hook of the song, to me, was the very end part, the Take Me Higher part, where the song really started to get interesting. I know that for them, they perceived that as an ending. It was that big kind of Christian music ending that, we're just going to keep, getting a little bit more intense. And the vocals came in and did that too. And I really like that section, but I really think it's the chorus and probably should have shown up earlier in maybe a little more subdued way. Overall, I really like the track. I hear a lot of contemporary Christian music because I have a couple students who study it with me as vocalists. I think this track is a little dated in terms of its arrangement and its sound. This kind of writing, this kind of arrangement was really popular in the 80s and the early 90s. And current contemporary music in the Christian realm is a little bit more indie sounding now. So in terms of where you're going to find its market, you're going to be looking probably with people who remember what this style was like. But, really overall, a well-played track. It's really well done. It's well produced. The band is great. The singers are great. If they can fix some of those mix things and maybe, think about how the song structure would work a little better, I think they've really got, kind of like an ultimate recording there. So that's what I think.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Andrea. Thank you. Miss Suzy Chase, what do you think about track number 2, Suzy?
I love me some gospel. That, what's better than running on the treadmill than to gospel? It gets you going. So I thought the arrangement and the vocals were really good. But to me, the mix was a little bit hot. It was a lot louder than the last song we heard. But it seems to be super marketable. I think they could even market this to like adult contemporary radio stations. I liked it.
All right. Fair enough. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Suzy. Now over to Mr. Ian. I wouldn't call you stupid, Ian, unless you had brought it up first.
So mean. Mean, Rich.
Hey,
wow.
I've got the, at one time when my beard was darker, it looked like I was Mr. Evil. So, the real Mr. Evil and not that bald-headed dude. And, never mind. Anyway, go ahead, Ian. What do you think of track number 2?
I just think it's nice that people actually get to see your true colours for once. That's all I'm going to say. Wow. What a great production. Yes, there are some compression issues going on here, which is a real shame because, that sort of intro came in. And it reminded me of Bruce Hornsby in The Range. That's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. With that guitar, the piano sound and the bass and everything. Really, really nice. And all the performers on this have got some chops. They really, really have. That drummer, there's a couple of times he went into some feels. You thought, oh, he's not going to make it, and he did. He just nailed it, and it was just like really, really well done. Mix-wise was pretty fantastic, except that chorus when those distorted guitars came in. Now, I'm normally sort of sitting here going, you know, on this track you need distorted guitars coming on that chorus to bring it in and punch it in. And they've done it on here, but I didn't like the guitar sound at all. It sounded brittle and frail. You want that sort of Gibson through a Marshall sound, that sort of deep, warm overdrive, rather than that sort of more distorted, brittler sound they had on this. And those choruses were just compressed to video. It was just, you know, you had nice space in them verses, and then the chorus kicked in, and it was just like in-your-face wall of sound, which is a shame because, as I said, lots of good, great performances on this, some fantastic production as well. Some of the parts, I didn't mind the sort of first chorus that was a bit weaker. For me, it allowed the song to build, and it did build into that big gospel part at the end. My only criticism of this, from the point of view of whether I like it or not, it was a little bit Disney. Now, I don't mean that as an insult, really, but I don't like Disney music from that point of view. But, you know, from Disney point of view, it would sell millions on a Disney film. I want to go higher, I think was one of the lines in there. And I was just sort of sitting there, and you could see, you know, the cartoon of the canyon with the lake in front of it and an eagle soaring across it. You know, it was just pure Disney.
All right. Fair enough. I appreciate that, Ian. Thank you very much. Track number 2, it's called Away, and it's by a group called Kezaiyah. And we appreciate their sending that track in as well. All right, I have one more track for everybody to take a listen to on today's broadcast. We're going to get to that right now. It is track number 3 on the show today. Here it is, everybody. Track number 3 on today's MSI.
Picture yourself looking out a window as far as eyes can see. Picture yourself standing in the meadow, wildflowers blowing in the breeze. And if I fall before I crawl, it's meant to be. Sunlight, watching the birds fly by. Picture yourself hugging a child, wiping a tear from their eye. And if I fall before I crawl, it's meant to be. Standing tall through it all, 'cause I believe. Picture a new beginning, where time stands still. Picture yourself waiting, where I can't becomes I will. Picture yourself floating up to heaven, a million angels by your side. Picture yourself looking back on your life and thinking, what a wonderful ride. And if I fall before I crawl, it's meant to be. Standing tall through it all, 'cause I believe. If I
All right, there you have track number 3 on today's broadcast. We're going to bring our panel in, starting with Miss Suzy Chase, our 2013 Panelist of the Year. Suzy, track number 3 over to you.
I actually enjoyed the simple piano parts in this tune. Although her voice had a really interesting quality, although I felt like the tempo just dragged. I think it could have been a little faster. All in all, it felt a little karaoke-esque to me.
All right.
There you go.
No worries at all. I appreciate that, Suzy. Thank you. Over to Ian. Ian, track number 3, sir.
I actually really like this track. We got 3 great tracks this week, from especially from the point of view of production going on. So it's nice to see some strong songs. And this one is, you know, the last girl had a great voice on song 2, but in a totally different way to this girl having a great voice. She's very emotive. She uses it very, very well. Her diction's good. Yeah. And she's got some sort of character to it, something that sort of draws you to it. There's a little bit of Bjork in there for my taste. And the actual production around the song was really, really nice. I like the way it ebbed and flowed from the sort of piano to the acoustic guitar, sort of all kicking in. You know, I wouldn't say that the hook was that strong in this, but I don't know if it needs to be. It's the washing up corgi again. Chihuahua.
Sorry. Yeah, she's always got an opinion.
Doing the dishes with her tail again.
See, even the puppy gets an opinion. Darn it.
I couldn't agree with her more, though, to be honest. Yeah, I really, really do like this. I love the production on it. I love the mix on it. I love the vocals on it. I love the whole thing about this track. It's different. It's edgy. It's creative. And, you know, it's to the point as well. It doesn't drag it out. I didn't mind the tempo. It was a little bit maudling, but hey, so am I.
No. All right, Ian. See, he puts himself down. I don't have to do it. Andrea, track number 3. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I have some of the same things to say. I thought it was decently produced. You know, the sounds were good. The recording was done well. There was, you know, little bits of production that were interesting, like the backward sound in the beginning. For me, I thought that it would be a lot better enhanced from the production side if there was real drums. There's, you know, I don't know. There's something about drum sounds that sound, you know, like they're really throwback old sounds, and the snare on this particular track really felt to me just seriously dated. So I thought, you know, this would probably sound totally different with a real drummer. And I would actually really have liked to hear that. I found this track a little bit like non-dynamic from the vocalist side. You can tell, you know, she's got a decent voice, has control, knows how to use it, but I didn't feel like there was a vision for the vocal on this other than basically hammering out the melody. And I think that one of the things that's really changed about the vocal world and singers is there's got to be something special about what you're putting out there. It's either going to be because you've really shedded the musical side of singing. You really can come up with stuff that's musically interesting on top of basically relaying the melody, because these are two things that you're simultaneously doing as the singer, relating the song and trying to give something that is unique to you as a singer and really interesting to listen to. And I didn't hear that. It felt to me like maybe the vocal part on this song was kind of an afterthought. Here, let's throw up a microphone. We're going to sing the song. And there was not a whole lot of artistry in the actual designing of the singer's part, which to me, if you're going to have a really simple produced tune that's kind of in and out on verse chorus, maybe the hook isn't particularly strong, then you've got to have something. You've got to have a vocalist who basically just makes you go, holy cow, that was amazing. Or you've got to have something that's happening, that's dynamically moving this song along. So overall, yeah, I thought it's a well produced track. It's nice and clean. There's no issues with it. The mix balance was fine. Interestingly, I found this track to be way more Disney than the last one. So
what Disney films are you watching?
It just is really, to me, it was kind of a trite song. And though it didn't have the orchestral part in there, but it does have that very kind of like, not particularly, to me, not very edgy sound, either in the vocal part, in the arrangement of the music, or in the production. So just my opinion, but it is like nicely done, and everybody has done their basics well, and I think that is strong, but it just doesn't, to me, it didn't take the song to the next level.
All right. I appreciate that, Andrea. Thank you very much. Track number 3. It's called Picture Yourself, and it's from Nicki Kris. Nicki Kris, we appreciate her sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. All right, back to our panel. They have a final thing to do, a final job, if you will, which is to decide on a song of the week. So as I turn it over to them, I also ask everyone out in the chat room, musicsceneinvestigation.com/witness, would you please file your witness statements? All right, what do you guys think about song of the week?
Well, ladies first.
Why don't we let our guests go first?
Whoa. Pressure.
It's going to be hard for all of us, Suzy. Don't worry.
I didn't love number 3. I think, and number 1, I didn't understand. So I think it's number 2 for me.
All right. Ian and Andrea.
Ladies first.
This is really hard this week. Because they're all strong in different ways, these 3 tracks, and weak in different ways. So it is really, really challenging, because it's not like you could say, okay, well, one thing is really awful, so I can take that off the table altogether. I personally think that the strongest track in terms of production, playing ability, vocal chops, and songwriting altogether is track 2. I'm not going to ding them entirely for it being overcompressed, because that's an engineering problem. So I think that musically, arrangement-wise, in terms of recording and production and overall mix, that track is really the closest to being, the thing that you could say, yeah, this could really go somewhere. So I'm going to go with number 2.
All right. And Ian, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? And who might rock the boat this week? I mean, it's a difficult one. I like number 1. I think that guy had some flair and some style. And as I said, it didn't matter if I understood what he was saying or not. I didn't need to. I got the feeling from him, and I got the emotion from his vocals, and I felt the hook, and it was good. Number 3, I think it's really creative. And if I was in a bit of more of a sort of, I don't know, hippie style mood, I might have gone, number 3, purely because I wanted to be creative this week. And, we always concentrate on production, blah, blah, blah. Let's give this a song. But as much as Disney number 2 is, which I don't normally go for, it is so well done. The performances, the production, there's overcompression issues, but that can be rectified maybe in mastering, maybe back in the mix. You don't need to do much more than that to get this perfect. It is fantastic. It's a really great piece of music, so it's got to be number 2.
All right. Well, there you have it. A unanimous decision from our judges this week. Song number 2, Away by Kezaiyah. And congratulations to them. And thank you to all 3 of you. Suzy, especially thank you for being with us. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to join us.
Thank you. It's always fun.
We are happy you enjoy it as much as we do. And let us know where everybody can go to find your podcasts, both of them.
You can go to cookerybythebook.com. You can go to thegrooveradio.com. And I just this week got to be podcast provider on iTunes Podcasts. You can search my name, Suzy Chase, Suzy, Chase, on iTunes and find both of my podcasts in the same section.
And I would like to let everyone know that Suzy's changed her Twitter name. It's not Groove Radio anymore. It's I am Suzy Chase.
Yes.
I found that out. I was looking for you earlier and I couldn't find you.
I know. I had to put everything under one umbrella.
I was getting worried that you quit Twitter for some weird reason.
No.
I thought maybe Rich was stalking you or something.
No. No, it's I am Suzy Chase. Thanks for pointing that out.
There you go, see?
All right, well, there you have it. It is I am Suzy Chase, the Cookery by the Book, and the Groove Radio. Both of those are .coms, and you should definitely check them out if you like great soul music, if you like eating. And, of course, everybody does at some point. You have to do it, right? So why not do it with some cool recipes as well? Thanks to everybody in the audience for joining us today. Of course, you can join us live as well every Sunday, 4 p.m. GMT is 9 p.m. So please join us. We'd love to see you in the chat room. And, of course, if you're not inclined to join us live, you can always catch us on iTunes and any place else you can download your finer podcasts. Thanks for being here, everybody. We're going to play Out With Away, and as our song of the weekend, we'll be back next Sunday with 3 new songs in front of the panel. So thanks for being here, everybody. We'll talk to you then.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Everybody goes through some ups and downs. Sometimes the weight of the world turns your smile to a frown. And when I feel like I can't make it another day, I call on my Savior to take me away. I wanna go to a place where there's no space or time. Lord, take me high above the mountains. I wanna ride on the cloud, take me away. Take me away. Take me away. Take me away. Everybody goes through some ups and downs. Sometimes the weight of the world turns your smile to a frown. And when I feel like I can't make it another day, I call on my Savior, say, Lord, take me away. I wanna go to a place where there's no space or time. Lord, take me high above the mountains. I wanna ride on the cloud away. Take me away. Oh, take me away. Take me away. I wanna go to a place that is higher than I, under the shadow of your wings. I wanna ride on the cloud. High above the mountains. Soar with you. Lord, please take me away. I wanna be with you. I gotta be with you, Lord.